a family in Roatan, Honduras, and this is one of the most special features I think we have on this island, or the most drastic difference for me. I'd lived on the island a long time before I had children. I ended up having my 2 children in the United States, and we came back when my youngest was 3 months old. So this is his home. This is what he has known. And I didn't realize there were so many differences in how accepting and embracing family culture is, which is it's just something that's so nice. And one of my favorite things about living in Roatan, and I didn't know it when I first lived here or moved here, but when I had a family, is just the difference I have seen between the United States, my experience in the United States with children, and like flying and going out to eat or trying to do anything, where I had always just felt so just kind of concerned. I was worried I was bothering people. People would look at me at restaurants, and it was just kind of this, don't want to sit near children on an airplane, which I used to be one of those people. And then I had children, and what I love about, one of the many things about Central America, not just Roatan, but Central America in general, even like when we go to the mainland, I'd always be concerned that I was like, oh, my son's gonna bother somebody over on the ferry, or he's gonna bother someone on the airplane, or in a restaurant, or when I'm, grocery shopping or buying building materials, he's gonna bother someone. I was always so concerned about that, because I felt in the United States, my kids were kind of an intrusion, if you will. And one of my favorite things about living in Honduras is that my family is very welcomed, and I don't have those same concerns. I don't have that kind of that burden of working with young children, because my children were always welcomed and greeted so kindly and warmly, and so accepted into the community. And that's just, it's really hard to articulate, but it's very, it's one of the most amazing things about raising my family in Roatan, Honduras, is that my kids are welcome pretty much everywhere. And what's nice is there are also places where it just says, hey, no children under 16, or no one under 18 is allowed in. Hey, that's fine. I like it. It's right there at front. So it's like, all right, I'm going to respect that. We won't go there. I'll go there without them, but we won't go there with children. But I'm able to get a lot of work done, and I don't feel weird bringing my kids to places. And I worked the entire time when my kids were young. I just put them in a baby Bjorn, put them right on me, and we just go to work. And it's just been one of the best things about living in Roatan, Honduras. And so everyone is so very accepting of my children, which is a little bit different. And then what's nice is it goes with that same respect. It's just that very family friendly culture. And so, and living in a small community, my kids know a lot of the kids on the island, and they know the different age ranges, and we've gotten to see, the kids grow up, because there's not that many kids here in the age brackets or in kind of their neighborhood or the school that they're in, but we have known the same kids for so many years and watched them all grow up, it was a little bit different from where we were. We were in a big community in the United States, and a school with 800 some kids, where you don't get to always know everyone. So maybe it's very small town feel. I grew up in a small town in Indiana, so maybe that's just, it's just more of, it feels like home. And getting to raise my children in Roatan, Honduras, is just, I just feel that there's a very strong sense of community also, where I don't have to worry so much. I mean, my kids are little, they're 6 and 8, so they're not getting into trouble yet. I'm sure that they will, just give them time. But what's nice is and I do it too, like I know all the kids, I know all the local kids around, all the kids in West End. I run into them every day. I know whose bike is who. I know if someone's riding a bike that is not theirs, things of that nature. If someone's not being very nice, we all kind of see it. Or if someone's feeling a little left out, we all kind of, the community, we look out for each other, which is really nice and different from living in a city, or where we were most recently at due to some extenuating circumstances, living in Denver for a little while. But it's that sense of community. And when my kids get older, I know they're not going to get away with anything, because, those poor kids, because I've got eyes everywhere. We've got the parents, or even, you know, not the parents, just it's a small community, and so the kids aren't getting away with anything. I'm gonna know if my child is jumping off a dock he's not supposed to, or he's jumping off something he shouldn't, climbing something he doesn't. And I'm sure my daughter will get into the same, well, different types of trouble. I don't have to worry about her breaking bones and jumping off into water and those things, swinging off things that he probably shouldn't be. So obviously I do have a daredevil on my hands that likes to sneak away and have an adventure, but it's kind of nice that they have little freedoms here too, as they get to walk off. Like my daughter got to buy ice cream with her friend, that they walked on the beach and got to just go to the gelato store, and they thought that was the coolest thing ever. They both got their amount of money, they got to learn, well, had to budget it, and it's just nice things where they, you know, they couldn't see us. Well, we knew where they were, and I also knew that there were eyes on them, so they weren't going to be able to go anywhere. And so it's nice, the community, and it's hard to articulate all the amazing things that Roatan has, or in Central America. It's just small town, and I am so very grateful to raise my children here. I can tell my children are happier. They're always around kids, or they have freedoms that they don't necessarily get in other places. So I've had a wonderful time. We go to an American school, which I mean, that has been fine. I love the school. The school is amazing. It's well, my kids know all the kids, and the kids look out for each other, which is really, it's very kind. And there's not, well, I think it's just such a small community that you have to get along. And if someone's not getting along, it gets kind of nipped in the bud really quick. And so they are on an American schedule, so they go from school to school from August through June, with several breaks. They do US holidays, but then also Honduran holidays. So there's a lot of holidays. Sorry, there's a gnat in my face. And then there's also a lot of activities. My daughter loves doing sun yoga on Saturday mornings. That's her favorite thing to do. My son wants to go to sundowners pretty much every day, which I can't fault him for that. That's one of my favorite places to go and hang out, float, eat chicken fingers. That's one of the only foods my son will eat. There's also taekwondo, there's soccer, football, and there's ballet. There's a lot of activities. Volleyball is really big, so there's a ton of activities. Team sports, which I also think is very important. Well, then you also have the horseback riding and being around animals and teaching that respect. You have a lot with the ocean, respecting the ocean and nature around us. They have summer camps, dive scouts. So there's a lot to do for the kids, and every year there seems to be a little bit more. And I am filled with gratitude that I have the opportunity to show my kids, well, to get to raise them in this environment where, well, they still love their iPads, they still love their computers, and they're on them too much. But there's so much to do outside, and they have those freedoms where they can go outside a little bit more than living in a city. And so I'm very, very grateful that we get to take a step back and just kind of, well, enjoy this beautiful island. I mean, it's hard to beat. You can't really see too much. I'm, well, trying to stay away from the construction, but you can see the ocean right behind me. It's hard to, well, it's hard to beat the ocean, right? It's a lot better. It's wonderful year round here. And so my kids, well, I'm just very grateful to be able to have immigrated here and get to raise my family in this beautiful country.